Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started in just a minute here. I wanted to just get the meeting started, make sure everything was working properly, and say hello. We'll be getting started in just a minute. Hello, and welcome back to the SnapRetail and welcome. So today we are going to be talking about one of the features in SnapRetail that I think is the most underused and one of the most powerful ways for you to increase your social media presence, and specifically on Facebook and Twitter, but also for you to leverage in other places like Pinterest and Instagram as well, without doing all of the hard work that comes with content creation and planning. So we're talking about, if you haven't figured it out already, we're talking about the social tab in SnapRetail. Lots of folks find themselves ignoring this tab. They mainly hang out on the calendar, and they're scheduling their posts, doing quick social posts, typing everything in by hand, or they're doing, our ideas. They're using our ideas to get started, and they're starting to use our little gray text bars here as jumping off points. But what can be very helpful is not having to do all the writing yourself. So if we look at today's post, today's an email actually. If we look at tomorrow's social post, it says, may we suggest pick an employee and have them pick their 3 favorite items in store, have them give a brief description of the product and why it made their top 3. That's great, but you still have to find an employee who you trust enough to do this. They still have to write something out, and then you have to take that, edit it, put it into a fashion that would be great for each social media network, and then schedule it. So that can be a handful of work right there. That can actually be a little bit of a challenge. So the social tab can help you alleviate that. So today we're going to talk for 15, 20 minutes about the social tab, and I'll have time to answer some questions, and we'll jump into how to use it, why it's important, and how I recommend people take advantage of all of these posts. So if you head to the social tab in SnapRetail, you'll see that there are about 3,000, 3,500 posts that are pre-written for you. And you can see we even have Happy Mother's Day as featured post, and all kinds of content over here. This is actually for our pharmacy customers. We have some jewelry templates in here. We have all kinds of store milestones. Just like in the email editor on the side, we have it all broken down into categories for you. Now, these posts, a little bit of a history lesson on SnapRetail for anyone who's interested. And if you're watching the recording, just jump ahead about a minute and you'll be fine if you don't care. But when we started, we were actually writing posts for people all the time. We had a sidebar full of content that we would write every month, and then customers could drag it onto the calendar and schedule it that way. Now, it was a great system for what it was, and it was very helpful. However, when it would post to Facebook, specifically if it had an image attached to it when it posted to Facebook, it would come through as a link share. And when you click the link, it would just be a web page with that picture. And it wouldn't look very organic, and the reach was kind of restricted. Now, we changed how we post to Facebook in 2017 because we didn't like that. We didn't like that it was restricted. We didn't like that it looked like a link post when all you were trying to do is post an image. And if you're connected to Facebook now, you'll notice it does not do that, which is good. When you post an email, it does go over as a link because it's linking to the email's landing page. But if you just post an image from the calendar, it's fine. And the reason for that is Facebook didn't like that we were writing the posts for our customers. They thought that was a little spammy, so they were restricting our reach. So now, since you write your own post based on our ideas, those posts post organically. But we had 3,554 posts that we had written over the years that we were writing posts for people. And we didn't want to throw those away. So we thought, why don't we store them in a library? Now, to get around Facebook's spammy requirements, their anti-spam requirements, we don't want you posting everything on the same day as all the rest of our customers, for sure. Everybody, that's why we have a number of Mother's Day posts, a number of, St. Patrick's Day posts, whatever it happens to be. We also make you edit these posts, which is the big first number one point we're going to talk about with the social tab, because there's some frustration. Sometimes people will tell me, boy, I'd love to use it more. I just can't get it to post. So if I click finish, let me schedule this for tomorrow because it's connected to my actual business page. Because like you all, I run a small nonprofit theater company. So I'm a small business manager as well. Nobody really owns my company because we're a nonprofit. But like you all, I'm in the small business world too. So I'm going to schedule that for tomorrow so I can cancel it if I choose to. But if I try and finish this, it's going to tell me I can't. It's going to ask me to please customize my Facebook message to make it more personal. Now, sometimes I hear customers saying, well, I can't even use the social tab. Why do I bother? Well, the reason you can't use it is you need to customize this. So instead of it saying store name like this, we could say store name. Oh, my caps lock is on. Now, this will allow me to schedule it. And then you're redirected to the calendar, and you see it's right here. And we'll go to the day view for tomorrow. And there's my post. I can move it forward or later in the day. Wherever I need it to be, I can move it around just like any other post in SnapRetail. And I can even cancel it if I choose to. So when you're in the social tab, you can find whatever really you're looking for. And I like to personally use this as my, whenever I recommend people use SnapRetail, I recommend they do the month of marketing. Sit down and spend 2 hours or so, schedule out all of your content so that you're free to use the software and you're free to jump onto social media directly to be responsive, as opposed to spending your time and wasting your time planning content day by day by day without a strategy and executing your content day by day by day, taking time away from other tasks that come up that need your attention. The first thing we tend to get rid of in terms of our budget and in terms of our time budget is marketing. So I recommend people schedule out 2 hours, do all your marketing at one time. Now, whenever I've done this in the past for my business and for customers, I find that by the end of the month, or there might be days in the month that I haven't scheduled yet, basically my last 10 posts, I feel like I am scraping the bottom of the barrel. I feel like I have no more ideas left. So that's when I come to the social library. The posts here aren't endless. We only have a finite number of them. So you probably aren't going to be able to do your entire marketing plan for 5 years just on the post we've written for you. Now you could try. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. So these, I use them. It's like a break glass in case of emergency sort of thing. When I have a deadline or when I need to get something done, so it's done for the month, it's Friday and 3 p.m. and my brain is mush and I can't think about writing anymore, I come to the social library. And that's when I can go into these categories and say, oh, do I want something for brand identity? And these are sort of a color scheme, right? So a modern color scheme where you can sort of start with a post that matches your store branding or store type. This is where you can really get into some good stuff, because if you want something a little more specific, let's say you're a toy store, we have 47 posts that are toy store specific. You can just edit the date or edit the hashtag or change out the image. Let's say you're a jeweler. We have 104 jewelry posts. These are great because, jewelry stores see a lot of traffic and they're very, very stable business. We want to make sure you can continue on being stable and work quickly. So you could say we're getting a new shipment of pieces. You could click here, and then you'd be able to upload an image. Any image will do. This is just like the quick social post. This is just like the email editor when you go and click select image. So this shouldn't be too new to a lot of you. I have random images in here. Or you can upload your own image. But let's say I want to start with ring, because it's a jewelry store. Okay, we got a whole ton of new shipments here, and we have a nice little picture there. All I would need to do is edit this text in some way. And it could be as simple as pressing the space bar. It could be as simple as adding a sentence. And all you would do is click finish and it would go right to your calendar. Now, I know this isn't super technical and super in-depth, but I think it's really important for us to look at this feature because when we were planning SnapRetail Accelerator, I wanted to focus on features that customers weren't using all that often. And for this is one that's a gold mine. It's super easy to use. The only pitfall that you're going to find is editing it for your own business. And then you can really pump out marketing without having to put out a lot of brain power, which is good whenever your accounting is due, whenever you still have to reorder your supplies, whenever you have a line of customers out the door. So this is a very good thing to help you keep active on social media. There are two more points I really want to take away here, and that is how often should you be posting on social media? I get that it helps me save brain power, but why is this important? And how we can leverage some of these Facebook and Twitter only posts for other social media networks. So let's take a brief detour and talk about why this is important and how much you should be posting really. So a lot of people say, yeah, I can do my whole month of marketing. I only post twice a week. I create 14 posts. It's not using a lot of brain power. And I would say, that's a little dicey if you're only posting twice a week. People need to hear from you. They say a new customer takes 7 impressions for them to even remember your logo or that you exist. So that is 7 times of them seeing your marketing materials, a logo, a jingle, a commercial, a radio ad, a postcard, an email, a social media post. It takes 7 times in a relatively short period of time for them to remember you. So if you're posting twice a week, is it possible for you to even get to 7 times? Are you doing direct response marketing via postcards? Are you doing out-of-home marketing with posters or billboards? What are you doing to get to 7? Okay, so the next question is I think the point there that we can take away is we need to do more social media marketing. Everybody knows they need to do it, but how do we do it? What do we post and when? So another way that you can get active on social media is setting the goal of posting what's right for each network. Facebook typically can support posting up to, buckle up, twice a day. Twitter and Instagram can support posts up to 5 times per day. And Pinterest, since everything's segmented on boards, there's no real good data about this, but I would say you could get away with as much as you want there. So more than what you're doing, as much as you want. Now, that's a lot. And I should say it can support posting up to twice a day or 5 times a day, not because the social media network is going to stop you from posting more, but you're going to start burying your posts. So the social media networks like Facebook serve posts to people based on their previous behavior. So if they've interacted with your page recently, then they'll see your posts more frequently. And so that's why it's important to get a lot of people interacting with a lot of different types of posts, because then they'll be more likely to see these posts going forward. But if you start posting too frequently, maybe they're only going to show the newest post and not the first one that you did that day. So 2 posts on Facebook well spaced apart will be very helpful. Instagram is more chronological, so you can post 5 times a day. Same with Twitter. You can post 5 times a day there, and you're hitting people in all different kinds of, times of day. So I might not be on Instagram right now. I might have to scroll a whole bunch to get to your post. But if you post something else later that day, I might see it a little easier. So that's why the difference is between the social media networks like Twitter 5 times a day, Instagram 5 times a day, Facebook twice a day. And that's the maximum before you start losing engagement, before your time becomes more expensive than the return on the advertising spend that you're doing there. So we have all these posts to do. Let's say you try and shoot for 14 a week. Let's say you go with 7 Facebook posts a week and maybe 10 or 12 Instagram posts a week. How many should we do? Well, there's a very simple formula that you can sort of ballpark your way to make sure that your content mix is correct. Now, your content mix is what type of post you're posting and how often. So 60% of the time, we want you to be using sort of these kind of posts here. These calendar posts or these social posts that are sort of engaging, community building a personal relationship with your customers. 30% of the time, we want you to be building community in different ways. We want you to be sharing content from other pages, sharing articles. Now, these don't get as much engagement, but when they catch on, they're very powerful. And it also shows the businesses around you, if you're sharing their posts, if they're not competitors, of course, if you're sharing their posts, that it shows that you want to be a part of the community and that people can invest in the community by shopping with you. And then 10% of the time, you want to be selling. I know everybody always pushes back and says, Vince, why would I not be selling all of the time? I'm a business. And that's correct. You are, and you should be selling. But the main difference as to why people go to you as opposed to going on their phones to Amazon is the relationship you have with them. I am a fountain pen collector. I probably have talked about it on these podcasts before, but I go to a very specific retailer because that's where I learned how to maintain and take care of my fountain pens. They have a YouTube channel where they provided me a lot of content, and we built a relationship. I've emailed the owner even, like a personal relationship. And that's why I choose them over competitors that maybe have a better price or faster shipping. So these posts are almost important. They're the foundation of the pyramid of what your social media output should be. So we have engagement posts. Those are designed to get a yes or no answer, or a comment, a like, a share. These are posts that are meant to have people take an action so that they see your posts in the future. So they engage with your post, so they see more posts. That's 60% of the time. 30% of the time, we're sharing other businesses to build community. And 10% of the time, we're talking about all the new stock we just got in, all the cool things that are in the store, any sales or discounts, any offers that we have. That's 10% of the time. So you can think of it like a pyramid. The bottom block is the engagement, the middle block is community building or sharing, and the top block, the real tip of the pyramid, is sales. And that's how you can leverage these posts to put in a good foundation for your content mix. And then lastly, this is all great. I only have Facebook connected right now, so you'll have to forgive me. But how do you leverage these for other social media networks? Let's select this post right here randomly. If I had Twitter connected, I could click that box and it would already have the Twitter post already written for me. I don't need to write anything. But if I wanted to use this with Pinterest or something else, I could copy this. I could go to the calendar. I could create a quick social post, and then I could simply paste it in here. Now, I don't even have to edit this. I can paste it as is. I only have to edit it when I'm in the social tab. Grab an image, and then I can post this same piece of text and copy it again and paste it to any of these social media networks. And I just want to say, for those of you, I know a lot of people have questions about this. Instagram is coming soon. I actually have been able to test it myself, and I can tell you it's really cool. Once it's approved in the App Store on Apple and Google Play, the Google Play Store, it will be into beta testing. We have a handful of people who are helping us with beta testing. And then after a long wait, it should be able to be used by all of you. And that's really great because now we can paste any of the things from the calendar that you already wrote, anything from the social tab that you've already pre-written can go right in there as well. And so that's another way to use this and actually take a little bit more time off of your workload there. So you could actually take these social posts, copy them, and paste them right into a quick social. And that would allow you to get a lot more mileage out of these posts. They don't only have to go to Facebook. They don't only have to go to Twitter. They don't only have to go to both. You can then incorporate Pinterest, and when it's available, you can incorporate Instagram. So that's it. I know it's simple, but sometimes when we go back to square one, we can tie up some of the loose ends we missed going in and get a lot more value out of what we already have. And I hope that's the case for you today. I think the social tab is something that I have actually in my business life leveraged to take some of the burden off of me, to take some of the decision making off of me. Just fun anecdote, and I don't know how true it is. It seems true. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day, so it was one less decision he had to make because people get decision fatigue. Your brain gets worn out by the end of the day sometimes. I've used it. I love it. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat them in and I'll answer them. I'll give people a few minutes to get those together and we'll see how they go. And otherwise, you can always reach out to me. My email is Vince, VINCE, .ventura, VENTURA, at SnapRetail.com. Or you can reach us in our general service team at service@SnapRetail.com. You can go to the website. You can chat in by going to this little question mark icon here and clicking chat. Be able to chat with us. You can shoot us an email from there as well. And most importantly, there's always the help center. I love telling people about this. While we're waiting for any questions to come in, come on in here. You can check it out. If you have questions about social media, you can go right there. You can you can check out all the different sort of categories we have here. Failed posts, it's a big one. What happens if you get a failed post? Spoiler alert, you just need to reconnect your account in the account page in SnapRetail. But you can find answers to most of the things. If it's not broken or acting funny, we probably have an answer for it here in our help center. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions today. I think we'll wrap up a little early. I look forward to speaking with you all next month. It makes me very excited that there are still SnapRetail subscribers out there who want to deepen their knowledge with me. I've been here on and off for 7 years, so if it's a aspect of the product, I probably know how it works. Don't hesitate to ask questions. I want you to get the most out of your SnapRetail subscription. That being said, as always, thanks for attending and thanks for watching for those of you watching on replay, and have a great day.